So you wake up in the middle of the night and you get that text from your leader and they're like, yo, you have to go and get a meat run for your tames or whatever, or you're raising an adolescent Giga or a Rex or whatever you're raising, and then you have to get up in the middle of the night. Could be a school night, could not be, maybe it's just a weekend night, but you're just sound asleep and you have to wake up because you have to go and get meat. So I know this always happened to me, and it happened to a lot of people in my tribe. I would always assign people to like get up right in the middle of the night, or I would try to work out the time zones so that if they did have a time zone where I was sleeping but they weren't, that they would get meat for the raising adolescent Gigas or Rexes or whatever team it is. But I know that sometimes if there was no one online, I would have to wake up in the middle of the night, and it really does stink having to get meat in the middle of the night. So when you're fighting a boss, it usually is really hard just to get to the boss itself. So it takes a while, and you have to either use some type of strategy to get through like everything to get to the boss, or you just have to use a ton of tames and get through everything and then finally get to that boss. But once you do get to the boss, you probably use so many rocket launchers. It takes a lot to kill, in particular this lava golem. It takes a lot. But once you do actually get there and you start shooting it and everything, sometimes this happens to me, I accidentally like fire a rocket at like the ground and then I blow myself up, and then there goes all my work, all my progress. I have to run all the way back there, and usually the health goes back up, or I just give up at that point. So it really does suck when you accidentally like shoot yourself while trying to kill a boss. So you're assigned the job of solo grinding out something huge. Usually it's something with the word industrial before it. So anything that has the word industrial before it, it's going to take so much to actually grind out. Usually it's like polymer and crystal and all that stuff. But solo grinding is the worst because it's one of the biggest struggles of all ARC players. When you're assigned something and you have to do it by yourself, you have no help, and you don't know how long that could take. It usually takes a while. But yeah, usually, like I said, it's usually something with the word industrial before it, just because those take a lot. But sometimes it's like you have to go and grind out like metal, or it's just something boring. But you know, it's part of the game. But usually when it is just you doing it, it takes so much longer. It's very boring because you don't get to talk to anyone. And you know, it's just grinding, but it is kind of super boring. So milk runs on school or work nights. So kind of like the adolescent Giga and you have to go get meat or whatever. So this actually is kind of the same concept. You have to wake up in the middle of the night, but the worst one is when it's on a school or work night. Then, you know, you have to, you know, get some sleep for the next day because it's a big day tomorrow, you know? But no, you have to wake up in the middle of the night and go get that wyvern milk. Plus, you're usually super tired and you're not really fully focused, and you're probably gonna die if you're not really paying attention to the game when you are getting that wyvern milk. And then usually what happens is when I do wake up in the middle of the night to go get the wyvern milk, I'm wide awake then. Like, I'm really tired, but by the end of the time that I get the wyvern milk, because it takes so long, I'm like wide awake, and then there goes all my sleep for that night. And then, you know, tomorrow's a school night, or a school day, and I'm tired. And I'm falling asleep in class, all because of the stupid wyvern milk. Being interrupted during a raid, it's pretty bad. Usually something IRL happens. By the way, IRL means in real life. But it's usually something IRL happens, like your family calls you for dinner, or you have to go, just something happens, you know? Something comes up and you have to leave. And the worst part is when you're in the middle of a raid. Because when you're in the middle of the raid, your tribe needs you, you have like some role in that raid. Let's say you're flying to the raid to bring like backup rocket launchers, and then you have to go. It absolutely sucks. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. You usually procrastinate it, but you usually go, and then finally when you actually do come back like 2 hours later, or however long, even if it's only like 10 minutes, usually the raid is, you know, something happened during the raid because of you not being there, because of some IRL interruption, which absolutely sucks booty, bruh. So not checking your surroundings is also a huge mistake, or not really a mistake, but just like something ARC players have to deal with. They forget to, you know, check their surroundings, and then they use the bathroom or something, and they go AFK, but they don't check like if there are any wild dinos around them that are gonna hurt them. So they go to the bathroom and then they just don't pay attention, and then they come back and then they're like 150 perfect tame wyvern or whatever you're on. It's just absolutely either super low health or it's dead. I know this happened to me a lot, and it probably happened to you guys too. It happened to a lot of my tribe mates, usually the unexperienced ones, because usually if you're smart enough, you'll go and you'll look around yourself to make sure like there's nothing gonna kill you. But you know, sometimes the inexperienced players just kind of go AFK and not really look around. So messing up time zones, this happened to me a lot actually. So it's when like kind of you have a few tribe mates and they live like in Europe and you live in the US, or they live in Australia and you live in China or something like that. And you tell them, hey, get on at like 8 o'clock tonight, right? And you're not really thinking of the time zones. And they're like, all right, let's, yeah, me and you will grind out some industrial forges or whatever at 9 o'clock. And then you start inviting them to the party, but they're not joining. You're like, what the heck, bro? And it's like 9:30 already and they're not on, so you don't really understand. So that's when you're like, I messed up the time zones. You don't really think of the time zones. So I know this happens to a lot of people, and it happens to me a lot with my tribe, or it did happen with my tribe. But yeah, this is a pretty big, I guess, something that ARK players have to deal with. It kind of sucks, but it is a little bit of a struggle. But you know, if you should just get used to it. So losing track of time, this is another big one. A lot of ARK players, they're usually young, you know, they still have school, or if you are older and you have work, you have a lot of work to do. You know what you have to do, and ARK usually, you know, in my opinion, I usually play ARK before I do all my schoolwork. School is very important, and work is too, but I usually can get my work done after I play a little bit of ARK. So usually I forget about just time in general. Like, I'm having so much fun playing and I'm grinding out and stuff, and you just lose track of time, and then you forget all about all that schoolwork. It's a huge struggle just because it's important. Like, it is really important. Your grades are important, and your work and money and all that is very important. But when you're just not paying attention and you lose track of time, it's pretty big. It kind of can have a really big impact on, like, you know, all that stuff, your job or your school. So it's a big struggle. Oh, this one is freaking hilarious. Raging too hard. So you guys know in ARK, there are a lot of things that can get people pissed off. Like, a lot of things that can get people pissed off in ARK. One of these, my most annoying one, is when you're not paying attention and then you just fall off a cliff, and it's just, it's so annoying. Or it's just like when you fall off a tame, or just something annoying, and then you rage so hard, like you just get so pissed, you either scream so loud, and then everyone in your family or whatever, they hear it, and then you sound like an idiot, or you take your controller or your mouse and you slam it, and then it breaks, it cracks, or whatever. Raging too hard is a really big struggle that ARK players have to deal with, but you know, it's just part of the game, I guess. Alright, so this next one is dealing with the guy in the party that echoes. So this is a huge struggle. It is just, it's a mental struggle. It's just so annoying when, that person in the party has that really, really crappy $5 Amazon refurbished mic, and it's echoing, and it's super bad, and then it's just in the back of your head 24/7, and you just hear your voice, and it's just, it's a big struggle. So playing ARK for too long, everyone knows, some days you just have to play ARK and you just feel in that ARK mood, you know? And you're playing so long, you know, it's 4 a.m. in the morning and you have school the next day, and you're just I'm just gonna keep grinding, and you're playing for so long. It's a pretty big, it's a big struggle just because of the effects that happen, you know? The next day you're super tired, especially if you have school or something. Your eyes are always bloodshot. That always happened to me. My eyes get all bloodshot, and then you smell bad BO. You've been playing all day, you've been playing so long, you haven't taken a shower, you've just been sitting there playing. Hopefully, you use the bathroom and stuff, just sit there and use the bathroom, but yeah. So anyways, guys, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like. And I know a lot of you guys, I saw 90% of the people that watch my channel actually aren't subscribed yet. So if you haven't already and you watched this far, why not subscribe, am I right? Yeah? So just go down there, hit that subscribe button, because I post videos every day. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought it was pretty funny, and it took me a while to actually come up with all these, but I will see you guys in my next video tomorrow. Peace.